Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Hope you had a restful night's sleep. It's wonderful to be back in our sanctuary and still always missing you guys, but it is a beautiful day in Sag Harbor, a beautiful Shabbat for us to celebrate. And as always, we'll get started just to warm ourselves up a little bit, wake ourselves up a little bit. And I could use a little bit of that this morning. Just do a little bit of singing to elevate our spirits. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Before we get started with our service, we'll just give a few brief moments for reflection. If you feel comfortable and would like to, please close your eyes and just take this time for yourself. As we open our eyes, let's take a deep breath in. Let a deep breath out. And we will open up our prayer books, our Sidurim, either online or in the book, to page 186 to begin our service with thanks and gratitude. Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha melech chai v'kayam. Modeh ani lefanecha. Modeh ani lefanecha. I offer thanks to you, Adonai, ever-living sovereign, that you have restored my soul to me in mercy. How great is your trust. We turn now to page 192, top of the page. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Nisrael. Ma tovu ohalecha Yaakov mishkenotecha Nisrael. We turn now to page 195, and we'll read the second reading from the top of the page, a blessing for our bodies. Don't let me fall, as a stone falls upon the hard ground. And don't let my hands become dry as the twigs of a tree when the wind beats down the last leaves. And when the storm raises dust from the earth with anger and howling, don't let me fall. I have asked for so much, but as a blade of grass in a distant wild field lets drop a seed in the lap of the earth and dies away, so in me your living breath, as you sow a seed in the earth. Baruch atah Adonai, rofech kol basar umafli lasot. Page 196, top of the page. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorai. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorai. Elohai neshama shenatata bi Tehora, tehorai. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorai. Elohai neshama shenatata bi tehorai. Let's read together on the bottom of page 197 in English. My soul came to me pure, drawn from the reservoir of the holy. All the time it remains within me, I am thankful for its thirst for compassion and justice. Let my eyes behold the beauty of all creatures. Let my hands know the privilege of righteous deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, asher bi'ado nefesh kol chai, veruach kol b'saish. If you are able at home, please rise as we turn to page 198, Nisim B'chol Yom, a series of blessings for daily miracles. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lasach b'ivina, l'avchin ben yom u'ben layla. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, bokeach ivrim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, zokef kefufim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, roka aretz al hamayim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamechin mitzadei gaver. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, malbish arumim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hanoten laya'ef koach. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamavir shena meinai utnuma me'afapai. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani b'tzelem Elohim. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani ben chorin. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, shasani Yisrael. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, ozer Yisrael bigvura. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, oter Yisrael betifara. Please be seated at home. We'll turn now to page 204 to offer a blessing for the study of Torah. We'll begin by reading the Hebrew at the top of the page and then the English at the bottom. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu la'asok b'divrei Torah. O Adonai our God, let the words of Torah be sweet in our mouths and the mouths of your people Israel, so that we, our descendants, and the descendants of all your people Israel, may know you by studying your Torah for its own sake. Blessed are you, Adonai, who teaches Torah to your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, hamelamed Torah le'amo Yisrael. Turn now to page 206. Elu devarim she'en lahem shiur, she'adam ochel perotehem ba'olam hazeh, והקרן קיימת לו לעולם הבא, ואלו הן כיבוד אב ואם וגמילות חסדים, והשכמת בית המדרש שחרית וערבית, והכנסת אורחים וביקור חולים, והכנסת כלה לוויית המת ועיון תפילה, והבת שלום בין אדם לחברו, v'talmud Torah keneged kulam. We turn now to page 212 for the opening blessing of Pezukei de Zimra. Please rise if you are able. Baruch she'amar v'haya ha'olam baruch hu Baruch oseh bereshit Baruch omer ve'oseh Baruch ozer u'mekayem Baruch merachem al haaretz Baruch merachem al habriot Baruch meshalem zachar tov l'reav Baruch chaylad v'kayam lanetzach Baruch bodeh u'matzil Baruch shemo bishvachot u'bizmirot negadelcha u'nshabecha nefarcha v'nazkir shimcha v'namlichecha malkeinu Eloheinu Yachid chei ha'olamim melech meshubach u'mefoar adei ad shemo hagadol Baruch atah Adonai, melech mehulal batishpachot. Please be seated at home. We turn now to page 214, beginning with the second line in Hebrew. Tov leodod l'Adonai, Tov leodod l'Adonai, ulezamer leshimcha elyon, tov lehodot l'Adonai, lehagid baboker chastecha, lehagid baboker chastecha, ve'emunatcha ba'leilot, ve'emunatcha ba'leilot, tov lehodot l'Adonai. Alei asur ve'lenavel, alei gayon bechinor, כי שימחתני אדוני בפועלך, במעשה ידיך ארנן. מגדו מעשיך היה, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מגדו מעשיך היה, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. מגדו מעשיך היה, מאוד עמקו מחשבותיך. אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יהללוך, עוד יהללוך. אשרי יושבי ביתך, עוד יהללוך, עוד יהללוך. סלע שהמשלו. Do you silently at the next page? V'anachnu nevarech ya me'ata v'ad olam me'ata v'ad olam me'ata v'ad olam Hallelujah 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 Hallelujah. We turn out to 218, Psalm 150. Hallelujah, 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 El Bekocho, hallelujah, Bekiauzo, hallelujah, Vigurota, hallelujah, Gerokulo, hallelujah, 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 beteka shofar, hallelujah, benevel bechinor, hallelujah, betofu machol, hallelujah, beminim veugav, hallelujah, 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 betzil tzalei shama, hallelujah, betzil tzalei trua, kol hanshama te hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. We're now on page 219. Nishmat kol chai tevarech et shimcha Adonai Eloheinu. Continue silently. We're now on page 220, the top of the page. Ilu finu malei shira kayam Ushoneinu rina kamod galav Vesivtoteinu shevach kemarchevei rakia Veineinu meirot kashemesh Vechayareach Veyadinu frusot kenishrei shamayim Veragleinu kalot kayalot Ein anachnu maspikim lehodot lecha Adonai Eloheinu Velohei avotinu veimoteinu levarech et shemam. We're now on page 222, the second paragraph in Hebrew. Shochena tzadikim, titbarachu b'lshon chasidim, titromamu v'kerev kedoshim, titkadashu v'kehalot, rivevot amcha beit Yisrael v'rinait pa'ar Shimcha malkeinu bechol dor v'ador yababai yababai bye 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 yababai yababai bye bye yai bye bye yababai yababai bye 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 ayababai yababai yai bye bye. If you're able at home, please rise for the concluding blessing of Pazukei Zimra on page 223 and remain standing through the Chatzi Kaddish on the next page and the Baruch Hu on the page after that. Yishtabach Shimcha La'ad Malkeinu Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol VeHaKadosh B'Shamayim U'Va'aretz Ki Lecha Na'e Adonai Eloheinu V'Eloi Avotenu Imotenu Shiru Shvach Ahala V'Zimra Ozu Memshala Netzach Gedula Ukura Tila V'Tiferet Kedusha U'Malchut Brachot vehodaot me'ata v'ad olam Baruch atah Adonai El melech hadol v'tishbachot El hahodaot Adonai niflaot Havocher b'shirei zimra Melech el chei ha'olamim Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah Ve'amad yivrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei V'chayechon v'yamechon v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael Ba'agala v'zman karim v'imeru amen Yesh me'rabba mevarach le'alam le'amei amayam Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitvar v'yitramam v'yitnasei V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shemei dekudsha brichu Leila min kol birchata v'shirata Tushbechata v'nechamata damiran ve'ama v'imeru Amen Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Please be seated at home. Turn now to page 228. We'll begin by reading the English at the bottom of the page and then the 3 lines in Hebrew just above, beginning with Or Chadash. Praised are you, Adonai, our God, sovereign of the universe, creator of light and darkness, who makes peace and fashions all things. In mercy you illumine the world and those who live upon it. In your goodness you daily renew creation. How numerous are your works, Adonai, in wisdom you formed them all, filling the earth with your creatures. Be praised, Adonai, our God, for the excellent work of your hands, and for the lights you created, may they glorify you. Shine a new light upon Zion, that we all may swiftly merit its radiance. Praised are you, Adonai, creator of all heavenly lights. Or Chadash, Al Tzion Ta'ir. Or Chadash, Al Tzion Ta'ir. V'nizkechu lanu meheira leorom. V'nizkechu lanu meheira leorom. Yadadai bim bam, yadadai bim bam, yadadai bim bim bam, yadadai Yadadai bim bim bam, yadadai bim bam, yadadai bim bim bam, yadadai Baruch atah Adonai, Yotzer HaMeorot. Turn now to page 230. Second blessing before the Shema. We'll begin by reading together the English at the top of the page and then the Hebrew at the bottom. How deeply you have loved us, Adonai our God, gracing us with surpassing compassion. On account of our forebears whose trust led you to teach them the laws of life, be gracious to us, teaching us as well. O merciful one, have mercy on us by making us able to understand and discern, to heed, learn, and teach, and lovingly to observe, perform, and fulfill all that is in your Torah. V'ha'ereinu b'toratecha v'dabek libeinu b'mitzvotecha v'yachel levaveinu le'ava u'yira et shemecha v'lo nevosh v'lo nikalem v'lo Agadol ve'adora batachnu Nagila v'nismecha v'yeshuatecha ve'abienu leshalom me'arba kanfot haaretz ve'tolichenu komemiut le'artzenu ki el poel yeshuot ata ubahanu bacharta ve'keravtanu le'shimcha hagadol selah b'emet leodot lecha yechedcha b'ahava baruch atah Adonai Abocher be'amo Yisrael mi'avam. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta Bechol levavcha v'chol nafshecha v'chol meodecha v'hayu advarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinatam levanecha v'dibartam b'shivtecha v'beitecha u'lechtecha b'derech u'shachbecha u'vkumecha וקשרתם להיות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך וביהי שעריך. We're now on page 236. ויאמר אדוני אל משה לאמור דבר אל בני ישראל ואמרת להם ועשו להם ציצית על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם ונתנו על ציצית הכנף בטיל תכלת והיה לכם לציצית וראיתם אותו וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני ועשיתם אותם ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם לאחרי עיניכם אשר אתם זונים אחריהם למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם אלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת. Let's read together on the top of page 239, and then we'll jump back to page 238 for the last couple lines in Hebrew. before continuing on to page 240. Emet, there is no place where you are not. Even in the wilderness, there is your word. Emet, that pen strokes of lightning, white fire, black flame, stir the soul's passion, guide our sacred way. True and enduring is Torah. Your truth for us is certain and established now and forevermore. Like Moses, Miriam, and all Israel, we sing out and rejoice. Bye 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 bye. Yay bye 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 bye. Yay bye 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 bye. Tehilot leil elyon baruch hu mevorach Moshe uMiriam u'bnei Israel lechanu Shira besimcha rabba ve'amru chulam mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai mi chamocha nedar v'kodesh nora tehilot osefele Ay lay 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 Shira chadasha shibchu geulim Leshimcha al sfat hayam Yachaku la'amodu Vehimlichu ve'ameru Adonai imloch le'olam va'en Adonai imloch le'olam va'en. Zor Yisrael, kuma be'ezrat Yisrael, ufedei chenumecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael. Go aleinu Adonai tzvahot shemo, Kedosh Yisrael, Baruch atah Adonai Gal Yisrael. For those who are able at home, we are remaining standing as we begin the Amidah together on page 242. We'll then continue silently. Please go at your own pace, and when you're finished, you may be seated. Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Ask those at home who are able to please rise if you're seated or remain standing if you are standing as we turn to page 324 for the repetition of the Amidah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohei Avraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka Elohei Rachel Elohei Leah Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor v'Hanora Nel Elyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Koneh HaKol V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imahot ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם למען שמו באהבה מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן ברוך אתה אדוני מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני מחיי מתים אתה רב להושיע מוריד הטעם מכלכל חיים בחסד מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים סומך נופלים ורופא חולים ומתיר אסורים ומקיים אמונתו לישני עפר מי כמוך בגבורות ומידו מלך ממית ומחיים ומצמיח ישועה ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. We're on page 326. נקדש את שמך בעולם כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמרון ככתוב על יד נביאך וכרז אל זה ואמר קדוש 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 לאדוני צבאות מלוך כל הארץ כבודו אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מאדיר שמך בכל הארץ ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו אחד הוא אלוהינו הוא אבינו מלכנו הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו לעיני כל חי אני אדוני אלוהיכם ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהיך ציון לדור ודור page 328. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. לדור ודור, לדור ודור, לדור ודור נגיד גודלך. ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש קדושתך נקדיש ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם לעולם ואין ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated at home if you're still remaining standing as we turn to page 329, the very top of the page. ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת ישמחו במלכותך שומרי 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 שבת וקוראי עונג שבת מקדשי שביעי שבת כולם יספרו ויתענגו מטובך שבת ישמחו במלכותך Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Vekorei Oneg Shabbat At Yismechu B'Malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Vekorei Oneg Shabbat Ve'ashvi Ratzita bo V'kidashto Shabbat Chemdat Yamim Oto Kerata Shabbat Yismechu B'Malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Vekorei Oneg Shabbat Yismechu B'Malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Vekorei Oneg Shabbat Zecher Lemasei Bereshit Shabbat Zecher Lemasei Bereshit Shabbat Yismechu B'Malechutecha Shomrei, Shomrei, Shomrei Shabbat Vekorei Oneg Shabbat Eloheinu, Eloi Avotenu Ve'imotenu Ritzei, Ritzei V'imnuchatenu Kadeshenu b'mitzvotecha v'ten chelkeinu b'toratecha Sahabeinu mituvecha v'samechenu b'shuatecha v'ta'er libeinu le'ovdecha ve'emet ve'anchileinu Adonai Eloheinu, Nai Nai Nai, Nai 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 Nai, Nai 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 Nai, 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 Nai 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 Nai. B'ahava u'ratzon Shabbat Kodshecha v'yinuchu v'Yisrael. Mekadesh Shemecha Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. We turn now to page 330 as we read in English in the middle of the page. On this Shabbat day, as you graciously receive our prayers, help us to hear your call. Grant us enough health to fulfill our duties and the compassion we need to attend to others. Teach us humility that we may perceive our own faults and grant us the wisdom to be forgiving of others. Give us the courage to be true to our highest selves and the charity to see the best in those around us. Give us patience enough not to become discouraged, hope enough to overcome all fears for the future, and faith enough to know your presence. O source of blessing, look with favor upon us. May our offerings be acceptable to you. Baruch Atah Adonai, she'otcha lebatcha birad na'avod. As we turn now to page 332, we'll offer a series of paragraphs, a series of readings, concluding with the words Modim Anachnu Lach, offering our gratitude to God for all of these gifts. For the expanding grandeur of creation, worlds known and unknown, galaxies beyond galaxies filling us with awe and challenging our imaginations. Modim Anachnu Lach. For this fragile planet Earth, its times and tides, its sunsets and seasons, Modim Anachnu Lach. For the joy of human life, its wonders and surprises, its hopes and achievements, Modim Anachnu Lach. For human community, our common past and future hope, our oneness transcending all separation, our capacity to work for peace and justice in the midst of hostility and oppression. Modim Anachnu Lach. For high hopes and noble causes, for faith without fanaticism, for understanding of views not shared. Modim Anachnu Lach. For all who have labored and suffered for a fair world, who have lived so that others might live in dignity and freedom. Modim Anachnu Lach. for human liberties and sacred rights, for opportunities to change and grow, to affirm and choose. Modim anachnu lach. We pray that we may live not by our fears, but by our hopes, not by our words, but by our deeds. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulechanae lehodot. Sim Shalom, a prayer for peace, page 334. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael ha'amecha, barcheinu yotzreinu kulanu kechad, be'or panecha, ki be'or panecha natata lanu, Adonai Eloheinu. Sim Shalom, Tova Uvracha, Chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael ha'amecha, Torat chaim ve'ahavat chesed, u'tzedaka uveracha berachamim mechayim shalom. Sim Shalom, Tova uvracha, Chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael ha'amecha, letov beinecha levarech, letamcha Yisrael, bechol eit ubechol sham, bishlomecha. Sim Shalom, Tova uvracha, Chen v'chesed v'rachamim aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol Yisrael ha'amecha. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'mevarech et amo Yisrael b'shalom. Let's read together on the bottom of page 336. I need strength, humility, courage, patience, strength to control my passions, humility to assess my own worth, courage to rise above defeats, patience to cleanse myself of imperfections, and wisdom to learn and live by our sacred teachings. Let me not be discouraged by my failings. Let me take heart from all that is good and noble in my character. Keep me from falling victim to cynicism. Teach me sincerity and enthusiasm. Endow me with perception and courage that I may serve others with compassion and love. Ose shalom mimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimeru, amen. Seder Kriyat Torah, the Torah service, begins on page 362. If you would please rise at home if you are able. Again, page 362. אין כמוך באלוהים אדוני ואין כמעשיך מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור אדוני מלך אדוני מלך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד אדוני עוז למו ייתן אדוני
טיבה ברצונך את ציון, תבנה חומות ירושלים, כי בך לבד בטחנו, מלך רם ונישא, אדון עולמים. כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, לעמו ישראל בקדושתו. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. אחד אלוהינו גדול, אדוננו קדוש שמו. גדול אדוני תהיו נרוממה, שמו יחדיו. לך אדוני הגדולה והגבורה והתפארת והנצח וההוד, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, כי כל בשמיים ובארץ, לך אדוני הממלכה, ועמית נעשה לכל ראש. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו, כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. Okay, please be seated at home. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. This morning we are reading from Parshat Beha'alotecha, one of the harder parshas to say because it is a single word that implies a lot of different things. Beha'alotecha, the first key words of this parsha are about, if this should sound aliyah, beha'alot, right? Should sound somewhat familiar. Same roots, and basically because it is the causative form in biblical grammar, beha'alotecha means as you are basically raising up. And what are they raising up? They are raising up the menorah, this golden, beautiful, ornate candelabrum that is part of the Ohel Moed, part of the tabernacle, part of the Mishkan, part of the tent of meeting. And so a lot of this week's portion, at least at the outset, describes, again, a lot of the sort of process of the Mishkan as the Israelites are preparing to really start their process through the desert, right, as they move towards the land of Israel. And there's a lot to unpack in this week's parsha, some of which we'll get to more in detail in the Torah study. But one interesting piece that stuck out to me this week, which actually, truth be told, I don't think I've paid much attention to in the past, is in chapter 10 of the book of Numbers. So if you want to follow along at home, in the Women's Torah Commentary, we would be on page 850, and in the Plowed Chumash would begin on page 957. So again, 957 in the Plowed Chumash, 850 in the Women's Torah Commentary, and if you're following online at home on your own, you're looking for the book of Numbers, chapter 10, beginning with the first verse. So it says as follows: Adonai spoke to Moses, saying, "Have 2 silver trumpets made." And I want to indicate that in this case, right, we might assume an ancient form of a trumpet in our tradition would be what? A shofar, correct? In this case, that's not what's being described. These are what are called chatzotzrot. So chatzotzrot, from my understanding, are much more sort of longer, really trumpets design, as opposed to something that would come naturally like a shofar from a ram. So really this is much more of a, well, as we'll see in a second, has something of a bugle-ish quality to it. And I'll explain what I mean by that in a moment. So God spoke to Moses, saying, "Have 2 of these chatzotzrot, these silver trumpets made, make them of hammered work." So again, not a naturally formed thing, but something that is created by human hands. "They shall serve you," and this is their purpose, "to summon the military bodies of the community and to set the divisions in motion." So, as I said, similar to the way in which a bugle would be used in order to call soldiers to attention and ultimately to direct them, we have to remember that in the not-so-distant past, before there were radios, before there were wireless forms of communication, when you are in charge of an army, potentially of thousands, potentially tens of thousands, potentially hundreds of thousands, one of the immediate challenges is what's called command and control. How do you indicate to which parts of your army to do what and what timing? So in this case, they're not talking about battle specifically, but they are talking about the breaking of camp and the moving of the people, which understandably involves also a military component to it. Because as they are traveling, there needs to be a consideration of where the various divisions of the army are located in respect to each other. And as I said, the chatzotzrot play a very important role in this, in that they are meant to summon, as we see, first the soldiers to come and to form, and then to set those divisions in motion. Now, it gets more specific. "When both are blown in long blasts, the whole company of fighters shall assemble before you at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And if only one is blown, the chieftains, the head of Israel's contingents, shall assemble before you." So again, this is a helpful means of communication across, remember, we're talking about really hundreds of thousands of people according to the Torah. So being able to communicate across the entire camp, 2 long blasts will indicate the entire army should mobilize. And 1 blast, long blast, is meant to indicate that there should be a meeting essentially of the joint chiefs of staff, as it were. But when you hear short blasts, the divisions encamped on the east shall move forward, and when you sound short blasts a second time, those encamped on the south shall move forward. Thus, short blasts shall be blown for setting them in motion, while to convoke military bodies of the congregation, you shall blow long blasts, not short ones. Okay, so again, not necessarily what we might expect from Torah, but again, very much in the same way that there is clear instruction about how the Mishkan is supposed to function, how it's supposed to be built and rebuilt and taken down, who's responsible for what parts of it. The same applies to the military thinking, and that is also part of our tradition as well. And the long blasts, again, are meant to convene the troops. Short blasts are the ones that are going to impel them to move forward. So it's actually a fairly elegant system for what it is, and certainly not something that I think is unique to the Israelites. Most likely this was a common practice in some form or the other amongst all of the armies of the area, and truth be told, continued on, I'm sure, through much of military history throughout the world, the use of loud noises or flags or other ways of indicating across a large gap of space how to indicate what it is that each unit is supposed to ultimately do. Now here comes the interesting part to me, though. "The trumpets shall be blown by Aaron's sons, the priests, they shall be for you an instruction for all time throughout the ages." Okay, that part is straightforward. Now here's the keys. "When you are at war in your land against an aggressor who attacks you, you shall sound short blasts on the trumpet, that you may be remembered before your God Adonai and be delivered from your enemies. And on your joyous occasions," this is the key, "and on your joyous occasions, your fixed festivals and new moon days, you shall sound the trumpets over your burnt offerings and your sacrifices of well-being. They shall be a reminder of you before your God. I, Adonai, am your God." Okay, so I went through that a little fast, but let's back up a second. What are we hearing here? A couple important pieces. One is that the sound of the trumpet is used for two things. Up until this point, all we're really hearing about is military, right? How to assemble the troops, how to impel the troops to move, how to gather the heads of the tribes. But here we're also told at the end that we should also use these chatzotzrot to indicate when there is a joyous occasion, or one of the fixed festivals, or one of the new moons. Okay, this is also about celebrating the opposite of when we are in war. We're celebrating, right, the joyful occasions of Judaism. And in both cases, interestingly, that it's not just about telling people what time it is or what to do. That these blasts, according to the text, are also about getting God, essentially, to pay attention to us, to remember us when we need God's help in terms of fighting the battles on the battlefield, and we need God to remember us also when we are in peacetime and celebrating our holidays in joyfulness and in all of that. So there is a very interesting teaching that I stumbled across, and to give credit to Rabbi Yossi Wiener, which I assume is really Wiener, who shared this teaching of the sixth Lubavitcher Rebbe, Rabbi Yosef Yitzhak Schneerson. And so Rabbi Yitzhak Schneerson in this case, Yosef Yitzhak, is the Chabad rabbi, the leader of the Chabad movement during the transition phase from Eastern Europe to America. And so in his writings, what are called Likutei Sichot, he teaches this really interesting piece about what is this relationship between these two chatzotzrot, or the two usages of the chatzotzrot, the ones for wartime and the ones for peacetime. So he says as follows, and this is more paraphrasing than direct translation, but what he teaches is, okay, the first verse, the first case, while you're in your land, if you go to war against an enemy that oppresses you, you should blow a long blast with the trumpet so as to be remembered before God. Okay, this first verse refers to a time when the people of Israel are physically threatened, when the trumpet blasts inspire the warriors and ignite the fire of victory. Right, same way that it's very common for armies, not so much these days, but certainly in ancient times and even medieval times, and probably even up and through revolutionary times and Civil War, the use of a drummer to set the march in terms of its pacing, but also to inspire, the same way any of us perhaps may put on inspiring kinds of music or music that gets us going when we go to the gym. This idea of using the trumpets as a means of basically getting everybody fired up for victory. Now, as the Rebbe continues, right, the sounding of the trumpets before battle encourages the people to face the enemy and to be victorious. But this second reading, right, this business about using the chatzotzrot when it comes to holidays and marking the new moons, etc. So the Rebbe teaches the second verse refers to sounding the trumpets in times of peace. And so one may logically ask, what is the purpose of blasting battle cries after the war is over? So he continues, after the battle of opposition, there may be a new kind of battle. This new battle is the battle of complacency. Thus, the blasting of trumpets during a time of peace serves as a reminder to keep the competitive forces alive, to contend with the challenges that arise from complacency. All right, so this idea that this second trumpet is not actually an entirely different kind of thing. That really what the Rebbe is trying to say is that really we're sort of looking at two categories, right? That there are times of war, and there are times of peace and of joy and of celebration. And yet these chatzotzrot fill an important role in both cases. That just because the battle on the battlefield may end, the need to be woken up and reminded that there are things that still need to be addressed that are not necessarily going to be addressed in war or on the battlefield. That there are still, quote-unquote, battles to be fought. And the number one concern, according to the Rebbe, and the need for these chatzotzrot, these awakening calls, these impelling charges, is because when the war is over, we have a tendency to become complacent. We assume that since we have vanquished the enemy on the battlefield, that there are still no more battles to fight amongst ourselves. When in reality, we know that that is not the case. That a lot of time, what happens in war is that we have singular focus. We have an enemy, we have to defeat that enemy and overcome. But in the days after, we have to understand, and the Rebbe is warning us, that we have to also be cognizant of the fact that we can become complacent, that we can become disorganized. And that ultimately speaking, we can become dispassionate, or worse yet, even apathetic, when other things, societal challenges, cultural challenges, arise, not on the battlefield, but in the public square. And so he is arguing or suggesting that in fact these trumpets play a very important role. They're not just about marking a period of time, as the text seems to imply. They're not just about letting people know that it's time to celebrate a holiday or celebrate the new moon. But in fact that this is a trumpet that needs to be used whenever there is a circumstance not in wartime, but in peacetime, that requires our attention, that requires our effort, requires our consideration of how best to address the problem at hand. And so I think that's part of what we are seeing also at this moment in time, is that the protests that we see in the streets, not the violence that erupted by a handful of people, but the peaceful protests, but peaceful protests with an energy to them, right? They're not, peaceful doesn't mean a lack of voice or a lack of energy or a lack of loudness or any of those pieces, right? A peaceful protest simply means that it is lacking in violence. But the loudness of it is significant, right? What is a protest? It is essentially a chatzotzrot. It is a trumpeting of attention. It is forcing us to pay attention to the battles that, again, are not fought on the battlefield, but the battles in our hearts, in our minds, in the social consciousness of this country, in the legal consciousness of this country, in the political consciousness of this country. And right now, we need to pay very close attention to these human chatzotzrot. Right? These people who are walking around, including many of us in our community, who especially our young people, who are crying out to us to act, to pay attention, to learn, and ultimately to do better. I tend not to like to use the sort of militaristic view of things and to call these battles or fights or soldiers. That's our sort of only mentality for when there is something hard that we have to overcome, is to immediately go into that language. But there is something helpful in the connecting piece that we see in this week's Parsha. That there is one thing to be said in which there is a similarity between a battle fought on the battlefield and a battle that is fought in the streets, is that both require a tremendous amount of courage and need a reinforcement, right? Something that is going to remind us that we can't stop, that we have to continue, ultimately speaking, to pursue our sacred task. In this case, to fight against a terrible injustice that has been ever present for a very long time. So I hope that all of us will pay attention to these emerging sounds, to these impelling noises that are coming from the streets, and not to become distracted by the handful of people who have chosen to either create violence or to create damage. They are the minority fraction of a fraction of a fraction. The vast majority of people who are marching right now are calling out to all of us to pay attention and to get involved and to get organized. And I hope that this morning's message, I hope this morning's Parsha will continue to push all of us in that direction. So with that, I wish you all a Shabbat Shalom, and as I said, we're going to read the first 10 verses of chapter 10 of the book of Numbers, beginning on page 850 in the Women's Commentary and page 957 in the Plowed Chumash. Baruchu et Adonai Hamborach. Baruch Adonai Hamborach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah. Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor, aseh lecha shetei chatzotrot kesef mishkat taseh otam vehayu lecha lemikra ha'edah ulemasa et hamachanot ותקעו בהן, ונועדו עליך כל העדה, אל פתח אוהל מועד. ואם אחת יתקעו ונועדו אליך הנשיאים ראשי אלפי ישראל ותקעתם תרועה ונשאו המחנות האחרונים קדמה ותקעתם תרועה שנית ונשאו המחנות האחרונים תימנם תרועה יתקעו למעשיהם ובהקהיל את הקהל תקעו ולא תריעו ובני אהרון הכהנים יתקעו בחצוצרות והיו לכם לחוקת עולם לדורותיכם וכי תבואו מלחמה בארצכם על הצר הצורר אתכם והרותם בחצוצרות ונזכרתם לפני אדוני אלוהיכם ונוסעתם מאויביכם וביום שיר שמחתם ובמודיכם וראשי חודשכם ותקעתם בחצוצרות על עולותיכם ועל זבחי שלמיכם והיו לכם לזיכרון לפני אלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם. ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחיי עולם נטע בתוכנו ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה. Before we move forward with our service, and as we have our Torah still in our midst, we will take a moment to offer our Mishaberach, our prayer for healing. In addition to those that we are thinking of in our community, of course, we are thinking of all those still suffering from the effects of the pandemic, as well as those who have been injured or hurt or have suffered in some form or the other in the protests in the streets. And so we hold all of them in our hearts and our minds, and of course also all of the healthcare workers who have put themselves on the front line and those that are supporting their work as well. We're now on page 371 back in our prayer book if you'd like to follow along. Mishaberach Avotenu ve'imotenu Abraham, Yitzchak ve'Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel ve'Leah, ulivarech et hacholim ha'elu. Harav Tuvia Avraham ben Asher ve'Leah, Stephanie Skit, Christopher Houlihan, Nancy DeMatte, Andrew Lesser, Linda Shapiro, Joanne Sanborn, Jean Ben Sadoun, Gloria Taradash, Andrea Klausner, Judy Stern, Miriam Cornfield, Roz Brody, Chana Ruth Bat Sarah, Marlise Silverberg, Louis Davidson, Susan Spruce, Fagel Tzipora Bat Elisheva Bat Sarah, Richard Gambino, Michelle Sawicki, Idol Basha Bat Yitzchak, Tzvi Menachem Ben Chaim, Rivka Bat Devora, Amy and Gavin Tucker, Janice Kurz, David Dowling, Neil Elliott and Eileen Rosen, Israel Ben Yitzchak, Ben Sion Ben Moshe, Lorraine Danis, Buddy Kassoff, Shelley Newmark, David Kyle Klotman, Rivka Bat Rachel, Sarah Bat Chana, Moshe Eliezer Ben Sivya, Peretz Ben Yehuda, and Leah Bat Naomi. If you're thinking of anyone this morning who we did not mention, please take a moment now and mention their names aloud at home if you would like. HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei Rachamim Alehem, Lahachalimam L'Rapotam L'Chazikam, V'Yishlach Lahem Mehira Refuah, Refuah Shlema Min HaShamayim, Refuat HaNefesh, Refuat HaGuf, Hashta Bagalav Zman Kariv Ben Omar, Amen. May the one who blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, bless and heal those who are suffering. May the Blessed Holy One be filled with compassion for their health to be restored and their strength to be revived. And God swiftly send them a complete renewal of body and spirit, and let us say together, Amen. El Narefanada, El Narefanada, El Narefanada, Refuah Shelema, El Narefanado, El Narefanado, El Narefanado, Refuah Shelema. And ask those who are able at home to please rise as we prepare to lift and dress the Torah. Vezot HaTorah asher שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני בעד משה. Torah, 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 Torah ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 Torah ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 Torah ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 Torah ציווה לנו משה. Torah, 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 Torah ציווה לנו Moshe. Okay, please be seated at home. This morning's Haftarah for Parshat Beha'alotecha is on page 974 in the Plav Chumash if you have it at home. If you're following online, you are looking for the book of Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 14 to chapter 4, verse 7. So again, book of Zechariah, Prophet Zechariah, chapter 2, verse 14 to chapter 4, verse 7. And just a reminder to situate us in time and connection, Zechariah is prophesying in the land of Israel after the return from the exile, after the destruction of the first temple and the exile by the Babylonians, as they are returning. This is under the rule of Zerubbabel, the high priest Joshua, and ultimately speaking, Zechariah was a prophet in the society that was really trying to rebuild itself, both literally and figuratively. And so the connection to this week's parsha, as you will see, is a description of this menorah, the seven-wicked lamp, which is described again at the beginning. And it contains with it one of the great lines, I think, in prophetic literature, and prophetic sacred literature, I should say, which says, "Not by might and not by power, but by spirit alone can one ultimately truthfully rule in God's eyes." In other words, it is a warning to us to be extremely careful about the things that we tend to associate as being the best qualities of leadership or of strength, which have to do with military might or with physical power. But that ultimately speaking, spirit, the belief, the spirituality, the belief that we can overcome our challenges is at the crux of what it means to be part of the Jewish people. There's a beautiful Debbie Friedman song that is a result of it, which I do not know well enough to sing, but you can certainly look it up on YouTube after services are over. So again, if you're following in the Plav Chumash, it's page 974, and I'll begin with the blessing before the Haftarah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar b'nvi'im tovim, v'ratza b'divrehem hanemarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai, abocher b'torah u'Moshe abdo, u'Yisrael amo b'nvi'eh ha'emet v'hatzedek. Sing joyfully and be glad, fair Zion, for behold, I am coming to dwell in your midst, says the Eternal One. On that day, many nations shall join themselves to the Eternal and become my people, and I will dwell in your midst. Then you shall know that the God of heaven's hosts has sent me to you. The Eternal will take possession of Yehudah, God's portion in the Holy Land, and will again choose Yerushalayim. Be silent, all flesh, before the Eternal, who is aroused from God's own holy dwelling place. God showed me Joshua the high priest standing in front of the angel of the Eternal. The accuser was standing on the right side to accuse him. And the Eternal said to the accuser, "The Eternal rebukes you, Satan. The Eternal who chooses Yerushalayim rebukes you. Is not Yehoshua a brand plucked out of the fire?" Now Joshua stood before the angel dressed in filthy clothing. The angel spoke up and said to his attendants, "Take those filthy clothes off of him." And to Joshua he said, "See, I have taken off your iniquity, and I am giving you something new to wear." Then I said, "Have them put a pure turban on his head." They gave him a pure turban and new clothing, while the angel of the Eternal stood by. Then the angel of the Eternal solemnly exhorted Joshua, "Thus says the God of heaven's hosts, if you follow my ways and carry out the services due to me, then you shall govern my house and have charge of my courts, and I will allow you access among those attendants of mine. Listen well, High Priest Joshua, you and your companions who sit before you. These men are a sign that I am bringing forward my servant, the seedling. Look at the stone that I have set before Joshua, a single stone with 7 facets. Now I am going to put an engraving on it, says the God of heaven's hosts, and in a single day remove the iniquity of this land. On that day, says the God of heaven's hosts, you shall all invite each other to sit under your vines and your fig trees." The angel who had been talking with me came back and wakened me from as a sleeper is awakened. And he said to me, "What do you see?" I said, "I see a lampstand, all of gold, with a bowl on its top. There are 7 lamps on it, and on its top there are 7 pipes for the lamps. By it are 2 olive trees, one on the right of the bowl and the other on its left." Then I said to the angel who had been talking with me, "What are these, my Lord?" And the angel who had been talking with me answered, saying, "Don't you know what these things are?" "No, my Lord, I do not," I said. Then he explained it to me, saying, "This is the word of the Eternal to Zerubbabel. Not by might, not by power, but by my spirit, says the God of heaven's hosts. What are you, you great mountain? Before Zerubbabel you shall become a plain. He shall bring out the topmost stone, and seeing it all shall cry, beautiful, beautiful." Complicated haftarah. Okay, we return to our prayer books, page 372 at the bottom of the page, the blessing after the haftarah. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, tzur kol haolamim, tzadik bechol hadorot, ha'el ha'ne'eman ha'omer be'oseh, hamdaber u'mkayem, shekol devarav emet v'tzedek, al ha'torah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al ha'nevi'im ve'al yom ha'shabbat hazeh, שנתת לנו אדוני אלוהינו לקדושה ולמנוחה לכבוד ותפארת על הכל אדוני אלוהינו אנחנו מודים לך ומברכים אותך יתברך שמך בפי כל חי תמיד לעולם ועד ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השבת Before we return the Torah to the Ark, we'll turn to page 376 to offer a prayer for our country. And going forward, we're going to begin a little bit earlier in the page than we have in the past, right below where it says "for our country" and begins with "thus says Adonai." Again, if you would like to, please join me at home, and if you are comfortable and able, please rise. Thus says Adonai, this is what I desire, to unlock the fetters of wickedness and untie the cords of lawlessness, to let the oppressed go free, to break off every yoke. Share your bread with the hungry and take the wretched poor into your home. When you see the naked, give clothing and do not ignore your own kin. If you banish the yoke from your midst, the menacing hand, the evil speech, if you offer compassion to the hungry and satisfy the famished creature, then your light shall shine in darkness. O guardian of life and liberty, may our nation always merit your protection. Teach us to give thanks for what we have by sharing it with those who are in need. Keep our eyes open to the wonders of creation and alert to the care of the earth. May we never be lazy in the work of peace. May we honor those who have died in defense of our ideals. Grant our leaders wisdom and forbearance. May they govern with justice and compassion. Help us all to appreciate one another and to respect the many ways that we may serve you. May our homes be safe from affliction and strife, and our country be sound in body and spirit. Amen. Remain standing as we turn to page 377, a prayer for the state of Israel. Avinu Shabashamayim Sur Yisrael V'Goalo, Barech et Medinat Yisrael Reishit Tzmichat Geulatenu. Hagen Aleha Be'evrat Chastecha, Ufros Aleha Sukat Shalomecha, Ushlach Orcha V'Amitcha L'Rasheha Sareha V'Yoatzeha, V'Taknem Be'etzat Tova Milfanecha, V'Natata Shalom Ba'aretz, V'Simchat Olam Le'yoshveha V'Nomar. Amen. O Heavenly One, Protector and Redeemer of Israel, bless the state of Israel, which marks the dawning of hope for all who seek peace. Shield it beneath the wings of your love, spread over it the canopy of your peace. Send your light and truth to all who lead and advise, guiding them with your good counsel. Establish peace in the land and fullness of joy for all who dwell there. Amen. Remain standing as we turn back to page 374. And again, if we are able to remain standing, again, page 374, as we turn the Torah to the Ark. Ye'alelu et Shem Adonai, ki nizkav shemo lebado, odo al eretz v'shamayim, vayarem keren le'amo, tehila lechol chasidam, libnei Yisrael am kiroho. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Ki lekach tov natati lachem, Torati al tazovu, Etz chaim hi, lama chazikim ba, v'tomcheha meushar, deracheha, darchei noam, v'chol netivoteha, shalom, hashivenu Adonai, elecha benashuva, Hadesh, Hadesh Yameinu, Hadesh Yameinu, Kekedem. Those who are still standing, we remain standing as we turn to page 586 at the bottom of the page, Aleinu L'Shabeach. Aleinu L'Shabeach L'Adon HaKol, Latet Gedula L'Yotzer Breshit, Shelo Asanu Kigoye Haratzot, Velo Savanu Kemishbechot Adama, Shelo Sam Chelkenu Kahem, Vegor Aleinu Kechol Amonam, Vanachnu Korim, Umishtachavim Umadim, Lifnei Melech Malchei Hamlachim, Akadosh Baruch Hu, V'nemar B'haya Adonai, Lemelech al Chol Haaretz, Bayom Hahu, Bayom Hahu, Yeh Adonai Echad, Ushemo, Ushemo, Ushemo Echad. Turn now to page 598 for the Mourner's Kaddish, and we remember first those who have passed in recent months: Nancy Fisher, Saul Fisher, Sandra Friedman, Maya Rosofsky, Vera Shaps, Lisa Schneidman, and Norma Small. We also mark the yahrzeits that occurred during the last week for Norma Carroll, Jack Center, Charles Cohen, Ellie Doctorow, Yoav Heller, Joseph Hautz, Marion Joseph, Beatrice Kaplan, Saul Kohlbrenner, Bessie Leonard, Louis Levine, Ronald Lieber, Joan Maisel, Arlene Mandelbaum, Peter Marks, Mary Matlis, Francis Miller, Herbert Pearl, Murray Peak, Louis Riskin, Gertrude Schwab, Abraham Silverberg, Jack Stein, David Zuckerman, Richard Vaneski, Yetta Waldman, Erwin Weinstein, Morris Weinstein, Herman Zauber, and Miriam Zweig. If you have anyone for whom you're saying Kaddish this morning and you'd like to share their names, now would be the time. Now join together on page 598, Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, be'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayichon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala v'zman kariv v'imru Amen. Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'alam u'le'almei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudsha berichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran be'alma v'yimru Amen. Yehei shalom Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'yimru Amen. Zichronam livracha, may every one of their memories be for a blessing. Okay, please be seated at home. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Just a few quick but important announcements. The first is, of course, I hope that you will join us for Torah study on Zoom at 12 o'clock sharp. Hopefully you have the information. If for any reason you do not, please email me and I'll be checking emails before we get started to help anybody who needs to get in. Also, just a reminder that 7 p.m. through the rest of the summer, this evening, Saturday evenings, we will celebrate a brief Havdalah service together and try to set our intention for the week to come. At the moment, that still requires a pre-registration, so please just make sure that you have registered, and if you haven't gotten the link and you did register, please email me and let me know. I think I've gotten everybody, but perhaps not. Also, a reminder that the Wonderful Book Group will be meeting tomorrow on Zoom, with Ruth Joseph leading once again. And again, that is tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you are interested in joining the book group, please email Ruth directly. Her email is ruthejoseph, all one word, at yahoo.com. Also to note, the Social Justice Committee will have its regular weekly meeting on Monday at 5 o'clock this week. And also a reminder that during the week I have a class at 7 o'clock on Wednesday evenings, a class on Friday mornings at 9 o'clock as well, and on Thursdays at 11:30, Jill Ehrlitz is leading her gentle yoga as well. And just to keep an eye out, that the July calendar should be coming out sometime within the next week or so, I think towards the end of next week, with a lot of things that we have planned for July and working on still things for August. So we are doing our very best, even while we are still physically distant, to make sure that our community is learning and growing and having all the opportunities to engage that we would normally have throughout the summer months. Also, just a reminder, I forgot that on Friday mornings at 10:30, Lou is reading a PJ Library book each week and having a little bit of an explanatory discussion around it. So it's a great thing to tell your kids, grandkids, great-grandkids. It's very easy on Facebook. You just go to our webpage at 10:30 on Fridays, and she will be there waiting for you. The last thing, which is very important, and I plead a mea culpa if this was not fully known as it should have been, but Cantor Emily will be moving on as of the end of the month because she is part of a dual program at HUC with the Zelikow School of HUC, which is the nonprofit school, which is one of the degrees that Lou got when she was in LA, and it's a program that's designed about helping to lead nonprofit organizations, especially in terms of development and fundraising. So she needed to work in an environment where there would be a mentorship for that part of it, which we could not provide. So we will miss her terribly, and we want to say a proper goodbye to her, even though we couldn't do it in person. So this coming Shabbat, the 19th, Cantor Emily will be on with us, and her family's going to join us, and we'll have a chance to really celebrate her and all that she has helped us to do over the last year. And thankfully, she'll be back with us for one more Shabbat after that, until the end of the month, and we are very excited to welcome a new, wonderful intern, Lauren Roth, who will start at the beginning of July. So again, just mark your calendars next Friday night. Please do join us for Zoom Shabbat services. So with that, I think I've made all of my current announcements, but please do keep your eyes open for emails and mail. And if for any reason you are not getting communication that you expect to get, either in the mail itself or online, please do let us know, let Eileen know in the office, so that we can make whatever adjustments are necessary. So before we do Kiddush, we're going to conclude our service with, let's do Yigdal this morning, page 628. Yigdal Elohim Chai Be'yishtabach Nimsa B'yenei Tel Metziuto Echad Ben Yachid Keyechudo Nelam V'gam En Sof Le'achduto Ein Lo Demut HaGuf Ve'eino Guf Lo Na'aroch Elav Kedushato Kadmon L'chol Davar Asher Nivra Rishon V'en Reshit L'Reshito Hino Adon Olam L'chol Notzar Yoreh Gedulato Malchuto Shefanuato Netanoel Anshe Segulato V'tifarto Lo Kam B'Yisrael Kemo She'on Navi Umabit Et Tunato Torah Temet Natan Le'amoel Al Yad V'yo Neman Beito Lo Yachal Yifael Ve'lo Yamir Dato Le'olamim Le'zulato Sofe Be'odea Setarenu Mabit L'sof Davar Bekadmato Omer Le'ish Chesed Kemifalo Noten L'rasha Ra Kerishato Yishlach L'ketz Yamin Pedut Olam Kol Chai V'yesh Yakir Yeshuato Chaye Olam Nata Betochenu Baruch Adei Ad Shem Dilato Chaye Olam Nata Betochenu Baruch Adei Ad Shem Tehilato. And now, if you have a glass of grape juice or wine at home and you'd like to join with me and are able to rise, we're on page 604 for Kiddush. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat Lasot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam Al ken merach Adonai yom ha-Shabbat v'yikadshehu savri Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Amen. Shabbat shalom, everyone. I hope this will be a sweet Shabbat for you, and we should go into this week renewed, rested, but renewed for the work in the week to come. And I hope I'll see some of you online in just a few minutes. Again, we'll start probably at noon for Torah study. Shabbat Shalom.